Um, uh, Hi, I'm Jelly. Um, yeah, this is supposed to be a Silva video, but so okay, don't blame Silva, but I had told him that it was the first minute of the video that you couldn't swear. Um, Apparently it's the first 5 minutes of the video, so I need to make this so that um we, YouTube and Cloud don't scream at us. Uh but that just means you're here with me hanging out for like four minutes or something like that. But that's fine. That's cool. That's uh chill. But hi. How are you? How's your day been? I hope it's been good. Um if you don't know, uh this is Jelly Cloud Audio. um we don't usually make videos like this. Silva is kind of a special character of ours, and he likes to just talk about whatever. Today he's talking about Gunpla, as you can see from the title, and I myself really like Gunpla. I love Gunpla. Uh, he has his passion for Gunpla because I have a passion for Gunpla. But I am far too anxious to ever talk about Gunpla just openly like that. So, yay for at least somebody talking about it on this channel. Um, so we make audios. I guess. Wait, they're. I think they're called like audio role plays, ASMR, some. I don't. Back in the day, um, they were just we just called them audios. Like back in the Tumblr days, we just called them audios or audio erotica. Uh, so that's what I'm used to calling them. But they're we made fun stuff. Not everything has been posted, but there's stuff in the making. It'll come out eventually. Um, we we're just having fun with it. And that's why on this channel there are gonna be tons of different kinds of things besides just our audios. Like Silva's videos are gonna be interesting, and then Cloud and I will probably do some let's plays and stuff, and just yeah, it's just gonna be a fun, grand old time of us doing whatever the doing whatever the heck we want to. I almost, gods, I almost messed it up. You do not know. Like, I would have been so upset if I jacked up this recording. This. Oh Jesus. Uh, that's Cloud calling me. Hi, Cloud. 1 second. Let me stop this recording real quick. Uh, uh. Okay. Bye. What's better than gold? Silva. Hey, it's me. Uh, I am here to present to you a video of sorts. As you can tell by the whiteboard behind me, it's gonna be somewhat educational, pseudo educational. I, but before we can get to the educational bits, we need to start off with some disclaimers. This is the idiot's guide to Gunpla. But you ain't the idiot I am. So, don't don't worry about if I say shit wrong or not, because I ain't gonna go and double check anything I'm doing. This is all off the dome. This is just my thoughts, my feelings, what I think on Gunpla and the subject, and what I've learned, or at least remember at the time of making this shit. So, uh, so also, I'm an opinionated guy. So, uh, yeah. Next up, this ain't for kiddos. This ain't for your little crotch goblins. Play them a different video. This ain't for them. I'm gonna be swearing up a storm. I'm gonna be talking about lots of shit I shouldn't. And the only reason I haven't dropped any F-bombs is not for kids. It's for monetization. It's to not get demonetized or age restricted or anything like that. But I'm gonna fuck it. Well, that was short-lived. uh anyway, I'm gonna just fucking start the shit. So, let us start off with what is Gunpla? What is Gunpla? They are gun damn model. Also, I can't fucking spell to save my life. It's model with an E. Fucking anyway, they're Gundam model kits. That's what Gunpla is. It's a portmanteau, something like that. They're Gundam model kits. You know what model kits are like. You got an old dude that makes the trains or the cars and shit. Like those are model kits. You know, the little plastic kits, sometimes metal, sometimes other shit that you put together. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of people who used to put together the car ones back in the day when like they were kiddos. Um, those are cool. Just were never my taste. A lot of people like the train ones. Uh, do you guys remember? Sorry, I'm a digress for a moment. It's me. What the fuck do you expect? Do you guys remember them commercials that had the like it would have the train, right? It That's a fucking awful ass train. Damn. What the You know, we're gonna go with it. They had the trains. It'd be like trains, and then they'd have like another picture of a little train, and then like more pictures of trains just like popping all over the screen, like damn near giving you a fucking seizure with all the trains. Like, I remember watching that shit as a kid and being like, I'm not fucking into trains like that. But that's a hype ass commercial. And it makes me want to get this video set on trains. But I don't care about trains. Like, I've never cared less about trains. Like, they're cool in theory and shit. Like, I don't know, I rode the train like twice when I went to visit Canada and some shit. Like, I don't I don't ride trains. So, but I don't know. That shit was just kind of cool to me. And it just, talking about the model kits and the train ones, it reminds me of that. So, anyway. But model kits, especially Gundam ones, which there are lots of different brands and shit. I'm gonna be talking primarily about the Bandai Gundam kits, because Bandai owns Gundam, so like, if you're getting a Gunpla, it's probably Bandai. Um, so what comes in a model kit? It fucking, I haven't used this shit in forever. Uh, so what comes in a model kit is what's called a runner. So it's got all the pieces, and they're like all interconnected and shit. So they're all like held into place with all this plastic and shit like that. And you gotta cut them out with a tool. I'm gonna say the name. I'm gonna say it very slowly. I'm gonna say it very slowly, and I'm gonna spell it out. Nippers. That's what they're called. They're like little pliers, kind of, but they got a flat side, and they're easy. They make shit real easy to fucking cut, like really close to the bits. Um, so they're nippers. You can technically cut that shit with anything. Uh, these that doesn't come in the model kit. That's just shit you need. What comes in the model kit is just the plastic, usually like a little sticker sheet with little decals, and then the little manual with like all the written instructions and shit. And by written instructions, I mean pictures, because usually it doesn't have like words per se. It depends on the. We'll get to the different kinds of manuals for the different kinds of kits later, but for the most part, you're gonna be dealing with just pictures. So it's just gonna be a picture of like, put piece A to piece B, and that's it. So it's pretty fucking simple. But yeah, tools you need are nippers, and then you need sometimes it is helpful to have a knife, like an X-Acto blade or some shit. You can have sandpaper too. Sandpaper is always helpful to smooth out any rough edges. I typically just stick with an X-Acto knife, because fucking that's all I need. The amount of cuts I've put on my fucking thumb using that shit. But, it's fine. It's fine. There's not much else you need. Like, there's shit you can get that's like decal softener. You can get fucking like clear coat or paints and shit. I don't really do that much. I've customized maybe 2 Gunpla, maybe 2, kind of 3. And they weren't like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't like professionally customize them. I just fucking I painted that shit with acrylic paint, and that's about it. I mean, it worked, but I can't really move them around too much because they start to scratch off. So, yeah. Anyway, so you can kind of do whatever. The only thing you truly need are nippers. Like, that's it. Or something to cut the bits out. Though you don't really need them depending on the model kit you get. So that leads us to our next bit of information. Once I clear the board, there are different grades of model kits. So you got your SD grade. That's gonna be things like Baharus. That's gonna be things like the little petite guys. They look like little bears, and they're on like little puzzle pieces. Um, if you ever see those Pokemon model kits, those are also basically SD grade. Uh, those those fucking warlords, those Japanese warlord model kits. Uh, those are really fucking cool. I got Nobunaga once. He was real fun to put together, and there's an incredible amount of detail work on those things. So if you can get your hands on one of those are real cool. Um, but those are SD grades. You don't need nippers. They're pretty fucking easy to just pop the shit out with your hands. Usually you don't need to file or sand anything. They have them in like other um other things too, like the classic RX-7. Like that's if you see a Gundam like that white with the blue and the red, that is probably the RX-7, probably. Um, but I actually put together one of him at a con because they had a whole little thing where you could put together this free SD grade RX-7, and we went with me and my friends. We went to the con. They offered this as we were trying to get into the Gundam base panel, or not panel, but booth, and we did that shit. It was fun. Also, time wise, for me and one of my friends, we put together Gunpla all the fucking time. We really like them. Took us like 10 minutes maybe. My other friend never put together any Gunpla before. Took him like 20 minutes. But also, the dumb fuck thought it was a smart idea to try and put together his first Gundam without instructions, without looking at the fucking instructions. Which, like, who the fuck puts together their first Gunpla with that? Why? Why put together your first Gunpla without instructions? That's fucking stupid. Like, I don't understand what was going through that man's head. I really don't. But regardless, he had fun. He liked putting it together. And that's all that matters, as long as you enjoy putting it together. And he didn't blame it on the set itself for not having it be the most well put together. He blamed it on himself because it is his fault. Anyway. Just read the instructions. Like it ain't hard. They're just, when it comes to SD grades, they're usually colorful too. So Harus are pretty fun. The little ball guys, and then the little bear petite guys, real fun. I got a fucking big ass collection of them. Love them to death. But these aren't to scale to anything. They're just fun, simple, easy to put together, hella beginner friendly. So there are these. Then you get to the high. I put a D because I was looking at SD, but high grade. These are your typical little, pretend this is a Gundam. This is your typical Gundam. They are 1/144th scale to the actual Gundam. There is, for the record, there is a 1-to-1 scale Gundam in existence. It is in Japan. It's cool as fuck. I want to see it someday. But, yeah. That shit probably ain't gonna happen. But, it's fucking cool. Anyway, and it kind of moves a little bit. I know it's like arms move a little bit, I think. Anyway. High grades are usually what you're gonna get. They can range anywhere from like $15 to like $30. They're like, they can be more than $30, but it just depends what kind. Pretty much most every Gundam model comes in a high grade form, I believe. Do not quote me on that, but like a good chunk of them. Like if you're looking for a unicorn Gundam, you're gonna find a high grade one. I have a high grade one. Like you're gonna find a high grade version of a lot of the typical Gundams you see. Uh, Actually, these petite guys, they got basically a big brother version. Bear guys. Bear guys are high grade, and they're fucking fun as hell to put together. Real cute, very chibi esque proportions. Love them to death. Also, I collect them. Got a bunch of them. Bear guys, Og guys. I'm trying to remember. I got fucking too many. um, but they're fun. Typically, you're gonna get a Gundam that isn't an SD. You're gonna get a high grade. So, good place to start. Real cheap, real easy to put together. Once you get real familiar with it, they ain't much of a challenge. Some of them still can be. And they don't come with all that many decals. They might come with some metallic decals, but usually not that many. And we'll talk about decals later. Next up, after high grade, is real grade. So they're the same as high grade. They typically cost a little more because the thing with real grade is they have a little exoskeleton. So, endoskeleton. My bad. They got an endoskeleton. So they actually have the internals, which are actually pretty accurate, and they're easier to kit bash and all that. Like, basically mix together a bunch of different kits to make something real cool. Because you make the endoskeleton, which has a lot of movability, like a lot more movability than a high grade, because to be honest, Gundams are not meant to be played with. Like, they're not a kid's action figure or anything like that. They are meant for displays and for posing and shit. But given that, even when you're posing them, sometimes posing a high grade, fucking leg pops off or some shit like that. It ain't fun when you're trying to pose it all cool and shit, and it doesn't want to pose. Real grade is a lot easier to pose because it got a lot more mobility, and because of that endoskeleton, it's got a lot more structure and it holds together a lot better. But these things are a bitch and a half to put together because they just got so many fucking parts. Like, you got all the external parts already, but then you have all of the internal parts, and it's not just like you put together 3 things to make a foot. It's like you put together 14 things to make an articulated foot. And it's like yeah, it's cool, it's nice. But also, it's so many fucking pieces, and it can get annoying. It can grate on you if you're not prepared. But they're still freaking fun to do. Yeah, that's a real grade. I would not suggest starting with a real grade because of how many pieces it's got. And I've not put together many real grades. In my experience, I think it had like a few more decals, but not many. Like, still pretty similar to high grade, minus the endoskeleton. Next up is the master grade. Now, with the master grade, you're scaling up a little bit, right? Master grades are 1/100th scale. So they're a little bigger than a high grade. Not by much, but enough. It's noticeable enough. Master grades also typically have a lot more decals. Like a lot more decals, and where a high grade just has like the manual just kind of folds, just like a folded piece of paper. The manual for a master grade is actually like a fucking book, you know? Like, it's got multiple pages, and sometimes it's got like extra tidbits about the Gundam itself, typically in Japanese, so I can't read that shit. But still, master grades are pretty fun. They come with a lot more decals. You should probably be. Fuck. Let me get. Let me get a little water first. Hydration is not a joke, kids. Like, oh fuck, I already told the kids to leave. Hydration's not a joke, folks. Make sure to stay hydrated. Anyway, so I would not suggest going into a master grade if you've never done a high grade. Just like in my experience, a master grade was not as complex as a real grade because of how many fucking parts there are. But you still got to be careful. The decals can kind of get you. But they're real fun. These range from about 50 to 80 bucks if I remember correctly, somewhere around there. They can be more or less like anything, you know, getting some, and if you get it secondhand, depending what retailer, depending if you get it like directly imported and shit. But yeah, so that's a master grade. And then finally is a perfect grade. Perfect grades are, if I remember correctly, 1/60th scale. And the fucking boxes are huge. So I went to a convention last year and I decided it was finally time to get a perfect grade. My friend and I were both like, you know what? It's time. We've been doing Gunpla for years. It's time for us to get a perfect grade. These bitches range anywhere from $200 to like $500. The ones we saw at Gundam Base at the convention we were at were about $200 to $400. Perfect grades are fucking expensive. This big ass box, I'd say it's 3 feet long. No, yeah, something like that. Fuck it, it's a big ass box. Like, it's a honker of a fucking box. And all of that is just runners. The little plastic bits that hold all the bits, just runners. It's so much. And like, it's so expensive. But mostly it's so daunting. And neither of us have put that shit together. It's been fucking months. It's been like half a year or some shit like that. And we still haven't even tried to touch them. Because it's daunting. It is daunting, my guy. You do not get a perfect grade unless you really love Gunpla and you really want a challenge. Like, you don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, so the next part we are going to talk about decals. So there are a couple different kinds of decals that can come with a Gunpla kit. There are the typical decals, which are just fucking stickers. Like, they're just the regular stickers. Just pop that shit on there. Pretty good, pretty simple, pretty easy. Then there are metallic stickers. A lot of people hate them because they dent real easy. So like, yeah, even slightly bend that bitch, legitimately, like, just the tiniest bend and that shit is like visible, and it's imprinted there and it's never going away, and you're never gonna get that dent out. But they still look kind of cool. They do the job. If you instead get Gundam markers or Gunpla markers, that's a lot better. Like, just get Gunpla markers instead. But I'll talk about those in a second. So, The next kind are wet decals. So wet decals or slide decals. I've heard them called both ways. Um, Wet decals, water decals, slide decal. It's been called a lot of ways. Typically, I hear water decals or slide decals. These, you cut out the little piece and then you put it in water to let it soak up. Then you get like Q-tips or whatever tool you need. I've tried using like silicone tools and shit. You just slide it off the cardboard backing onto the Gundam, and once it dries, it's on there, usually. So, these can be the little real devil, or they can be amazing. People tend to prefer these over stickers because when you do them right, they really just melt into the plastic and they look real nice. But that's where that thing I was talking about, that decal softener, there are different versions. You're probably going to get a Mr. Hobby one because Mr. Hobby is like the brand for shit. But when it comes to decals or water slides specifically, it helps to prime the plastic or where you're going to place it with whatever product you're using. Put that shit on there and then put it on top. But you got to be careful. I'd suggest looking up. There are plenty of tutorials out there, plenty of tutorials on YouTube. Looking up which one's good for you, which one works for you, which product you want to do, if you want to do it. Because, funny story that really... Okay, I'm going to start calm. So, I was putting together a Master Grade kit. And I only saw the water decals in there. And they look cool. They're fucking... They're metallic gold water decals. It's fucking cool. But, I was, not having a fun time. And by not having a fun time, I mean I was literally ripping my fucking hair out. Like I was screaming. Because these water decals just didn't want to stay on the fucking pieces. They didn't want to work with me. I almost threw the whole shit out because I just couldn't stand the things. And then I looked back in there. It came with regular sticker decals too. So always check the box. Always look for the regular stickers if you're not comfortable using the slide or water decals, because fucking they ain't for the faint of heart, in my experience. Anyway, the next ones are that's not supposed to be a P. Dry decals or rub decals. Like so these, what you do is you cut the piece out, usually with like a little piece of tape, like masking tape or just scotch tape, you know. You kind of hold it on that piece and you get a tool, you buff it in, and it's kind of like a temporary tattoo, but instead of putting water on the backing, you're putting force, and then it transfers on there, and it's on there. I don't have much personal experience with these, but you know, fucking, they're cool. They look cool. They don't look like they're that bullshit to deal with. So, yeah. So next up, we'll talk about Gunpla markers. So, Gunpla markers. I put marks. Fucking, I wrote Gunpla. I wrote Gunpla marks instead of markers. You know, you fucking know. What the fuck? I tried to draw. I am used to drawing sideways, like with my paper at a tilt, and getting used to not is kind of fucking tripping me out. But anyway, Gunpla markers. So, these shits. Again, Bandai brand. I think there are probably other brands out there. I don't know them. There are lots of fucking different kinds. There are ones that are made to add like a realistic, like imagine this is the foot, so you can add like dirt or grease marks on there, like that. There are some markers that are meant for that. There are some markers that are just meant to color it. I mentioned earlier, there are some that are metallic, so you don't gotta use the metallic decals. You can just fucking color that shit in. There's lots of shit like that. Lots of different markers, lots of different colors. Real fun, real fun. There's also like real thin versions of the markers, but they're different. They are panel liners. So panel liners are really important, really fucking cool. So when you have a Gundam piece and it's got like you got the two pieces together, there's that line, there's a divide. It can either be two pieces or it could just be the molding on one piece. Usually when you put it together, it's real hard to see that line. You see, it's like you can kind of see it, but you kind of can't. So what you do, you get the liner. Either if you're using just paint, you can just slop that shit in there. If you're using a specific marker or the panel line, I can't fucking talk. I'm sorry. If you're using fucking panel liner markers, then you just put that shit in there and then you're good. Usually I'd get some like acetone or paint thinner. Not acetone, fucking paint thinner. There's a specific paint thinner for Gunpla markers as well. And then you just like, where all the sides are kind of overflowing, you go in there, you just kind of wipe the surface, and then it makes it, instead of a fucking thick line that's going over where it should, you get a real thin line. So it looks nice. It's only filling in where you need it to, and it just makes the Gundam pop. Like if you ever get a chance, Google search like Gundams with panel lining and without, and it makes a fucking difference. And also, you don't just line the whole thing in black. Like, look. I know most people like to line things in black. That's your go-to thoughts. But just like drawings, like, fucking look at me. I ain't lined in black. I'm lined in dark blue, right? So you don't need a line in black for it to look black or look nice and be a nice sharp line. So for colors, like if you got a red Gundam, you'll want to line it in like a brown. It's gonna not be as harsh as black and look as weird, and it's gonna look nice. If you got a white Gundam, you want to line it in like gray, because black is gonna be, again, too harsh. Like you need to line it in colors that are complementary but not too like fucking stark. Anyway, panel linings, real nice. I've heard people call it like an advanced technique. Honestly, it's somewhat, but not entirely. It's just like more intermediate, I guess. But if you put together a couple Gundams, like, panel lining is the next thing to do, because it's really fun. And you can do it to like a one you've already put together too. You can even do it to fucking an SD grade if you want. But Yeah, it's a cool way to not just like not like customize it, but just add a little touch. And depending what colors you use, you can make it look real different. There's also weathering. So when I talked about like adding mud or dirt, oils, smoke, shit like that onto the Gundam, like that's weathering. You could do that with markers, you can do that with paint, you can do that with fucking getting like a soldering iron and like melting the plastic so it looks like bullet holes or other shit. Like there are plenty of Gundams with fucking cool ass laser swords. So maybe you want it to look like he got slashed up with a laser sword or plasma energy, whatever sword, and you can do that by melting the plastic. You can also just use your X-Acto blade and just fucking cut into it, make some chips and shit. Good old fashioned dry brushing uh, for weathering and shit. Like there's plenty of shit you can do, and like it's a cool little touch you can add. And when it comes to like if you want to fully like full on customize uh Gunpla, what the oh fuck, I accidentally, don't ignore me. uh if you want to full on customize Gunpla, you can. You can fully paint the pieces, paint the colors, use pieces from different Gunpla, put them together however the fuck you want. Um, and also, you can buy decals. You can buy the big ass sheets of all like different decals on it. Like brand, like good, like Bandai brand ones. So you can add the decals yourself. Maybe you got a high grade that didn't have as many decals as you wanted. Maybe you want to customize that shit, make it look cool, put flames and shit on it, make a Guy Fieri Gundam model. You can you can make it whatever the fuck you want. Um, but you just like have fun with it. Gundam is meant to be fun. Like it is fun, and you can have fun with it. Uh, and if you want to go out the gate swinging and like customize a Gundam off the bat, go for it. Just make sure you do your research. You don't want to try and customize it and then you fuck it up and you're like all disappointed and shit. Also, to a very serious note to end this video on. Do you have to watch the anime to make Gunpla? I've had people who aren't into Gunpla say I'm a poser because I've not watched Gundam. I've watched a couple episodes of a couple of the series here or there. I have not really watched the Gundam animes. And you know what? That's okay. You don't need to watch the anime, any of them, to be into it. And no one's gonna look at you weirdly. I don't know all the fucking names of all the Gunplas. I know unicorns look one way. I know the RX-7's what fucking one of them, and like the cool one that most people think of. I know bear guys, petite guys, and Harus, and that's about it. Like, I know what Og guys look like. I know what a Zaku is. You fucking, of course I know what a Zaku is. Which the Zakus are the ones that got the like dome head with like the one eye. They usually got like that, and then they got the little like, yeah, good enough. But and then I know there's one that has like, yeah. Anyway, but like, I know what I know, and that's it. That's all I need, and it's fine. It's fucking. You can still have fun, and still be into Gundam, be into Gunpla and all that shit, without having to watch the anime. That's alright. But the most important thing the most cliche thing, and I'm probably gonna end up finishing every one of these things like this. You just gotta have fun with it, my guy. Like, it's fun. It's like putting together a puzzle. Just have fun. And go out there and fucking make yourself a Gundam. Like, it, they are, they're everywhere now. Like, when I got into it, lots of stores did not sell it. Like, fucking Barnes and Nobles didn't sell Gundams. Now they do. Lots of places do. You can get them at, like, GameStop. You can get lots of places. But just go out, get one, have fun. And if you want an actual tutorial on it, look that shit up. Cause this was not it. There are plenty online that go through a lot of shit, like a lot of cool shit, like how to properly weather them, how to properly customize them, how to properly do certain decals, and like go find them out. Like go seek them videos. They're worth the watch. Um so yeah. Anyway, I have been your great teacher, Silva, and I'll see you next time when I talk about another weird, stupid hobby I got. So, till next time, my guy.